What's up, you guys? Welcome back into iHeartRadio's official wrestling podcast, the Battleground Podcast. It is Battle from 105.9 The Rock, Nashville's classic rock, and some of your favorite iHeartRadio stations across the country. And we are gearing up for a big event coming to Nashville. We're talking about Blood and Guts live at the Bridgestone Arena, which, by the way, you could still grab your tickets right now. Go to AEWTix.com. That's AEWTIX.com. And today, a guest on the show that I think that he is about to take the record from his boss, as most times been on this show. Give it up for Darby Allin coming on the show again, man. How are you, sir?
I'm actually, it's hard to say. It's been so start-stop because I think you mentioned we just talked right before Anarchy in the Arena.
Mm-hmm.
And if anybody watched that match, they saw that I got tied my ankles with a rope and lifted up. And then I got super kicked in the face. Not just super kicked in the face, but they had thumbtacks super glued to the bottom of their shoes. And mind you, this is the same face that got hit by a bus.
Mm-hmm.
And then my nose, you couldn't see it because this shirt was hanging over my face, but my nose blew up like a faucet.
Oh.
And when I got to the back, I had to pull thumbtacks out of my lip. And it I went right to the hospital. I thought this whole thing was re-broke.
Mm-hmm.
It was a pretty crazy night, and trying to explain that too, because right before that match, I had to get clearance from my nose doctor, and then the nose doctor signed me off. He just said, "Be careful." And coming back and having to explain that, yeah, that was a really awkward conversation.
Two words that you really don't tell anything to Darby Allin: be careful, because I don't think those are in your vocabulary of being careful after seeing everything that you've done on social media.
Yeah, and, believe it or not, Blood and Guts is my first cage match in my whole career.
Really?
Yeah.
So you've got some revenge to dish out this coming Wednesday.
Oh yeah, definitely. I had to sit because I thought I was back after Double or Nothing, and then after the nose got just demolished, I had to sit back out and let it kind of rebuild. But I feel good. Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready to rock. And, it's crazy because I just left at Double or Nothing with Anarchy in the Arena, and now I'm back with Blood and Guts.
Mm-hmm.
It's hopefully I don't go back to the hospital.
Let's not put that out in the universe that you don't go back in the hospital. Maybe you send, I guess your bosses, the Bucks, to the hospital. We put that in quotation marks. We don't really say them as bosses, but of course, Blood and Guts, big things happening. It's a very historical match in AEW. So, how do you, I guess, mentally and physically prepare for such a brutal and high stakes match like this?
Honestly, like everything I do in my whole entire life, my whole life is preparing for the unknown, So to me, it sounds crazy, but Blood and Guts almost seems like a walk in the park.
I mean, I think this is a perfect match for Darby Allin and his style of wrestling. Like, I'm surprised that, you haven't been in every single one of these Blood and Guts matches, because this is right up your alley with everything.
Yeah, no, it's just perfect timing, perfect opponents. You got the EVPs, and you got Jack Perry, and then you got Okada, and a couple, so it's just, and Hangman. I've only been in the ring once with Hangman, and that was on a boat. We didn't even we've never even touched on TV, so it's gonna be a fun night. I'm excited. I don't know what's gonna happen, but I guarantee you, if people are sleeping on this match, they need to wake up real quick, because the shit that I got planned, man, I don't know. It's gonna be fun.
I couldn't even imagine what you have planned, because you look at what happened at Anarchy in the Arena. Not only did you, set Jack Perry on fire, I mean, everything that took place in that. So obviously you're going to go 100 times more than that one.
Yeah, we're going to, dude, I have no idea. Everybody tells me take it easy, slow down. You're not going to be able to walk when you're 30. And it's well, I'm 31 and I feel great. Believe it or not, even though my foot and my face, everything feels great. And it comes from a background of growing up working as a dishwasher, constantly being told that you're never going to amount to anything. So going out there every night, I don't forget where I came from. So that's why you'll never see Darby Allin phoning in. It could be on in front of 10 people, it can 10,000 people, 81,000 people. I never phone it in. because I don't
Yeah.
take any of this shit for granted.
Absolutely. And of course, get your tickets now, AEWTix.com. Blood and Guts live from the Bridgestone Arena here in Nashville. And, you know, a lot of people that have watched your matches over there, you've always been known for pushing the boundaries in your matches. Has there been an idea that you've gone to Tony and says, hey, I really, really want to do this? And without hesitation, he says, no.
Yeah, there's been plenty of ideas like that.
What has been the most recent one that you've pitched to him and he said, absolutely, we're not doing this?
Well, originally it was Mount Everest.
Well, there's that, yeah.
And then, but we ended up about to do it, and then, you know, broke my foot 2 weeks before that was supposed to happen. But I don't know. I think he sees my track record and everything that I do, whether I take that Jeep and I jump 96 feet over my house on a Jeep over this jump.
Yeah.
And I walked away perfectly fine. The first thing I said to him when I flew through the trailers, because he was on FaceTime to make sure I was alive. First thing I did when I flew over the house and landed on these mobile home trailers, I got out and said, I'll make it Wednesday. So, like, he sees my track record and he knows that I have a very good gauge on what I can do physically. And he doesn't, you know, he just doesn't ask questions really that much anymore. So I'd say, you know, back it was I'd say Mount Everest, you know, was the last one. And then I explained to him what I was going to be doing. It wasn't like I was just going on the mountain just with zero training. There was a lot going into that.
Yeah.
So, you know, he trusts me now.
And that's got to be a good thing that you can just go out here and do things like that. And he's like, you know what? It's a cool, because I trust Darby. He's going to go out here. And I remember last time we were talking, you kind of had to put the going up Mount Everest on hold. What's the time frame looking like that? Is that you said it's still happening? What's the time frame looking like that? Do you have to go back and do any more training?
Yeah, I'm gonna do training. I'll probably fly to like Kathmandu, Nepal again, and just do some training up in those mountains because that's where Everest is. But you can only climb it 2 months out of the year. So
Right.
I got out next April is when I leave. So it's just, you know, we got less than a year and time flies by so fast. It's crazy. I'm excited about it. It's something, you know, everybody told me it's a sign that you should climb it. And I said,
so that's not the sign that we want. You want to tell them you can do it, because when I first saw it online that you were training, I was like, if anybody could do this and climb Mount Everest, it's going to be Darby. Now, what's he going to do when he gets to the top? That's nobody's thought but yours.
Yeah, no, dude, I don't know. It's so awesome just what we can do inside the ring and outside of the ring with our careers and our lives. And, you know, because a lot of people would have to, if they even said that you'd be like, oh, well, you got to wait till you retire. And who knows how your body's going to feel when you retire, you know? So the fact that, like, you know, I feel so great. And it's like, yeah, dude, just go for it right now. It's just like, cool, let's rock. And, yeah, so there's nothing I wouldn't do for AEW.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, the one thing that a lot of people talk about is how much AEW pays respects to those that have paved the way in wrestling. And they've shown great respects to the lives and career of Owen Hart and Sting. And, you know, recently we saw you come down from the rafters, similar to Sting during his battles with the NWO. And then we saw some reports that, you know, y'all had talked with Owen Hart's wife about getting the approval of doing that. What was that kind of conversation like? And, you know, was there like a plan B if she was like, I don't want to do that?
Well, plan B was coming back out with the flamethrower.
I mean, that's a pretty solid plan B.
Torching a fool. But no, I was sitting actually right by Tony, and she walked up right before she was to go out live on, you know, when she presented Danielson with the trophy for the Owen Hart Foundation. And then Tony's like, hey, we were thinking of Darby coming down from the ceiling. And she's like, well, first of all, I love your work, Darby, and I trust AEW with everything, all the precautions, because we got, you know, a great team. And it was just like, yeah, like, so it seemed like there was no hesitation on her part. It was cool, you know, because like I was right there and just talked to her, and she knows how everybody goes about things. And there's, you know, so much safety went into that. And it's just like, yeah, we don't mess around. So
Yeah, absolutely. And that was a cool moment because, like, other places probably wouldn't have just asked her, out of respect, saying, "Hey, can we do this?" They would have done it. And that's the thing that, what's great about what you guys are doing over there is you pay respect to the past and the present, and doing stuff like that goes a long way, especially in the wrestling community, that you reach out to Owen's, wife and ask her for doing that. Something that is kind of interesting as you scroll through social media, there's all these clips of Darby Allin doing all these things. But the one clip that keeps recurring is from a TV show that you were on before AEW, and it was, Sex Sent Me to the ER. And it continuously pops up on my timeline. How did all that go about?
Well, for starters, it's so funny when people repost it as if I don't, as if I'm trying to hide it.
Yeah.
It's like I'm the one who told in an interview years ago with Chris Van Vliet that I did that show, and people are like, "Wait, he did?" And it's like I'm the one who told people. It's funny. It's like hilarious, and it's like, oh, breaking news, because no one has a goddamn life anymore.
Yeah.
The thing is, I was going to film school in Arizona, and I saw this. There's this website with all these reality shows, and I said, "Oh, Sex Ham in New York. That sounds funny. Like, let's come up with a story." So I made up this fake story, forged a doctor's note that had happened, because they actually asked, like, "Did it really happen? We need
Really?
doctor's notes." And I was like, "Yeah, shit." So I met the girl on Craigslist. She was an aspiring actress, and we came up with the story. And the day that we shot is the first day I met her.
Uh-huh.
And then we just like got our story straight, and then went in and filmed it. And it was just funny because that's back when I was in film school, and
Mm-hmm.
I had no money. I was literally, no shit, I was living off of $5 a week on food.
Mm.
It was horrible. It was so bad. And because I worked at the 99-cent store at the time. So when I was in the freezer where we keep all the food, I'd be like eating the food secretly back there. I had no money. So I was like, oh, they pay, I forgot exactly the numbers. It was like 500 or maybe $800 to do
Mm-hmm.
this reality thing. And I was like, yeah. And they flew me down to California. And I was like, this is awesome. And I was like, I can afford to eat now. And it was cool. Yeah, but the whole experience was fun. It's just fun coming up with stories and messing around, and just having a good time. And so I would do so much stuff for like ridiculousness back in the day. I
Mm-hmm.
was friends with some of the people that collected the clips, so they would tell me, "Hey, Darby, you got any footage? You mess with anybody, or falls?" So I would just sell clips of ridiculousness and whatever else. It was fun.
Hey, that's not a bad little side hustle, to be completely honest, right there. I mean, you're already filming stuff anyways. Why not make money off of it, right?
Yeah, it just, I don't know. It's I never wanted to live a normal life, and I felt like I was gonna stop at nothing. And everybody in like high school, right when they graduated, it was just straight up like, all right, it's time to play it safe and easy. And I was like, hell no, I'm gonna be homeless, living in my car, and just like, let's go. And everyone's like, man, is Darby like smoking crack? Like, what's wrong with him? But there was a method. There was a method to my madness for sure, and it all paid off wonderfully.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, I mean, you look at all the great things that you've done in AEW, and of course, you're going to be involved in the Blood and Guts match this coming Wednesday at Bridgestone Arena. Buy those tickets right now, AEWTix.com. That's AEWTIX.com. You better get them before they sell out. And real quick, before we let you go, after this Blood and Guts match is over, what is next for Darby Allin and AEW?
Dude, honestly, I just want to be the face of this company as much as possible. Whatever they need, I'm there. It's just, I was able to have my dad retire and buy them a house, and my mom and my dad a house, and do all this stuff, but have the freedom to still like take them on trips and have, and at the end of the day, I did everything on my own terms. It wasn't like I had to sell out, because you hear all these like weird stories in wrestling, like back in the day, they're like, hey man, if we tell you to wear a pink tutu, you're gonna have to wear a pink tutu. Or if you're gonna have to wear, a dress, or you're gonna have to be something you're not. You're just gonna essentially have to sell your soul. But
Mm-hmm.
like AEW is like, nah, like I just do you. And the fact that I've been able to climb to the top by just being me is that's all I can ever ask for in life. So there's nothing. It's just being the face of this company. That's my goal. Like whatever they need, I'm there. So that, and I'd like to beat Jack Perry's little ass.
Take that TNT title back that's rightfully yours,
Yeah,
get that back from him. I think
yeah.
that'll happen. I know in the battle household, I've got a 7-year-old that is a big fan of yours. And so he is very excited about next Wednesday, Blood and Guts. And thankfully this time there's no school the next day, so he can stay out late. I don't have to just tell his teacher he's not coming into school because we stayed out watching wrestling the night before.
Is it because he dropped out of school?
Well, mate, no.
No, I'm joking. It's summertime. It's summertime.
It's summertime. No, he's all excited because as soon as he sees the commercials, he gets excited. And we were at the last Nashville show, and he's all excited to see this. And I was like, this is going to be a different show than we saw the last time. And he's like, let's go. So he's all excited about it, and we're all excited about AEW returning to Nashville, Blood and Guts, Wednesday night, Bridgestone Arena. Grab those tickets right now. AEW Tix. That's AEWTIX.com. Darby, before we let you go, is there anything you want to say to people watching or listening to this right now?
No, man, just don't take AEW for granted. Literally, you see what we did on episode 250. Dude, people just like don't realize what AEW has done for the whole world of wrestling. Like they literally just take shit for granted all the time. It's like, just don't take it for granted. That's all I can say, because it's changing a lot of people's lives, and everybody's having a great time doing it. So just hang on and enjoy the ride.